Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in learning just a little bit more of this ancient language, my native tongue, with you. Yesterday, we talked about 孤苦伶仃, which is the sense of loneliness described like a comparable to the bitter life what experienced by an orphan. And the 伶仃 talks about alone, the single nature of experiencing it all. Like instead of like 2022, right? People when talk about caring or supportive message of say a pandemic, we're saying we're experiencing it together. So this togetherness somehow lessen the pain of facing some hardship ahead, right? But here is facing the hardship on your own that makes it even more palpable. So that's 孤苦伶仃. And today we have 人生苦旅. We continue with the bitterness. So bear with me, it's big part of life, and we have it in the Chinese expression. And 人生苦旅 talks about the larger scale of how to look at life from the whole lifespan of a human life here. 人生 is the whole duration of the lifespan. And then we describe it, if we assign one adjective of this journey through life, it's bitter. Okay, I'm not sure if this is universal, but this is a big part of how to interpret. If you choose one word to describe your life, what that word is, or even what taste that is, that tastes bitter. Okay, 人. The contemporary Chinese, we just simplify it into two strokes. That looks like a standing Eiffel Tower, right, in 2D form. And this simply to mean a two-legged standing up being. And that being is a self-referral of human being. And in ancient forms, it sometimes was written in this shape with a little bit of curl and stylized opening of there, looks like a letter R. Or it could get more streamlined and look like this. This is also a human figure that's simplified, like reduced the curve and narrowed, and that's human figure as well. Okay, so that's human, generic, no gender, no age, no other attribute of this human. It's just the most general term of human. It has to be human. There's no other possibilities here. It's two-leg standing figure. Okay, 生, we have this plant symbol on the top, and then this soil symbol below the ground level. So this middle horizontal line is the ground level. And then we have kind of a pointer. The plant kind of rooted down. You can see below the ground level. So that means the plant, this upturning, kind of a trident looking structure is the plant symbol. I mean, we have to abstract a plant, a growing thing in a certain way, right? So this is the way the plant was represented because it got a center stem, right? And it got the leaves next to it. That's the most basic structure of a plant. So when a plant has the root still below the ground, that means it's still living. It's still a living thing. It's rooted in the soil. So that's plant-based referral to something who is still living, a living thing. And from that plant living, it's generalized into all things living. It could be animal living, it could be human living. And this living got further extended to refer the whole span of life cycle. And 生 compare with 生命 or 生计 or 生活, different words. And then it's like the same character facing or paired with different other characters to get into its fuller meaning. Because right now, just 生, if we only look at the 生 on its own, it could mean multiple things. In this scenario, now we do have a context. It paired with 人 before it. 人生 simply means the whole lifespan of a human. It's human's growth or development over the lifetime. So human life simply means lifetime or the whole lifespan. And interestingly, if we flip this sequence of things, we say 生 first and 人, it's a totally different meaning. It means a person who is stranger to you, who you first time met, you even talked, or you have never seen this person in your life. So that's the stranger. So just flip the two. And so apparently this 生 not only means life, it can mean, it can be the opposing idea of 熟. 熟 means cooked, and 生 means uncooked. So this uncooked person who you haven't personally cooked into understanding you or understanding the other person. So there is zero interaction yet between the two persons. Okay, sorry for the noise. Some impatient driver out there. Maybe you cannot hear it, hopefully. So 生人 is stranger, uncooked, unrelated person. That's the definition of stranger. So 人生 here, okay, get back, is life's journey. I mean, lifespan. And then this 旅 is journey. So to describing a lifespan as a journey, as a process, that's something like a progression, right? And maybe through different geolocations or through different your jobs or careers, any dimension of your life can change, and that's considered a journey, right? Phase 1, phase 2, or turn leaf, or something like that, right? Compare it to a book, things like that. So 旅 is commonly used to describe this lifespan. It's a journey, as if you're traveling somewhere. So there's a beginning, there's end, there's the middle, supposedly exciting part. And this 人生苦旅, because it's relatively a new expression, simply because the way the characters pair together, it doesn't at least taste to me as a time-honored ancient expression. On the contrary, it sound to me, it's contemporary, because comparing life's journey, life, the process of life to journey is a Western expression. So I would speculate, very likely, this is a translation. So 人生苦旅, at least this 旅, this journey concept paired with life, whole lifespan, that's something we can say now it's universal. But if we want to pin down how this symbolism of a journey compared to life cycle, that could be like a starting point, could start from one culture, spill over to other cultures expression, right? So 旅 here is about the journey, but the origin of this 旅 concept doesn't mean journey. It means a group of army of 500 foot soldiers. So infantry unit, size 500, that's considered 旅. And we can see, okay, double person, that means a crowd or multiple people, right? And the top here, we can view it also as additional person, like a depicting from an aerial view, you can see like a multiple person, right? So together on the right side, that means a group of people, multitudes of people. And the left side, you see the contemporary is a feng, and actually it came from this flag structure. It's a little bit hard to imagine a flag from the structure, right? How can you see visually that even it's an abstraction of flag? From here to a little bit like a flowy image over here, right? And this looks just like the plant symbol on the top, like how to view that as a flag. So dig a little bit deeper. Here is a bigger version of how the flag looks like. In the Lü, this is Lü's ancient, one of the ancient versions of Lü. Because, I mean, at the beginning of language creation, right, there are different sources of depicting this character. And then people may stylize it differently using different writing tools to pin it down. So then the end up result that preserved over time that we can see today may come in different shapes. So this preserved journey or 500 people army unit looks like this. And from this image, you can almost see a kind of a 3D depiction, because this looks like XYZ, the coordinate, right? This looks like the staff of that flag. And then this line is the flag in the wind. And we talked a little bit about the flag, the significance in culture, in military especially, because in war times back then, probably before even uniform or contemporary war form that we saw, like Ukraine and Russia, right? Even before that, like before the contemporary, we can kind of imagine back then when two clans, say, or two tribes were at war with each other, the way they can recognize there are different parties involved is using the flag to signify, okay, this is my group of people versus your the enemy side or something, right? So war time flag was used as the signal of the existence of this force. So people, multiple people would gather underneath the flag, and that's kind of a calling of, you know, your arm, your force gathering under the same flag. So flag then represent the whole idea or culture or society behind that flag, or it could be a family last name. So whoever is the leader for that flag, or the clan for that flag, would be used here as the gathering signal. So flag was important back then in terms of making things standards or gathering people. So this, under the flag, gathering of forces, and here you can see as a people, or it can also be the top of a weaponry. You can see its sharp edges over here too. It just almost realistically depicting the wartime under the flag, multiple forces or humans gather. So that 500 units was eventually formed or conceptualized as the unit. And from that unit of person, armed force, this concept of a Lü eventually extended into travel, into journey. So I would imagine wartime, that will be the unit to send over, like a pack, send over to travel to foreign land to attack, right? Or to retreat. So as an operation of a military unit, this mobile group of people eventually took their sense of they are mobile, they are traveling to different terrains to either defense or offense, and they are on foot, and they gather under that flag, and that's multiple of them. So this then got abstracted into journey, traveling. It doesn't have to be multiple people anymore. It lost its sense of military base origin, eventually just come to mean of traveling through time or space. Okay, in this phrase, 人生苦旅, apparently it's through time, right? It's a journey. It takes time to travel, whether you stay in the same place or you travel to different locations. It's always considered as a journey. So in short, if we have to capture 人生苦旅 the 4 words to describe the journey of life as bitter, I would just say this depicts a bitter life, a bitter version. And 苦 is not only the taste of bitter, it's the the emotional interpretation of how life is. Basically, in Eastern and probably Western philosophy too, suffering was recognized as the one main feature, a constant in life, because yeah, we came with a limited number of time, with a lot of limitations, right? What we can do in our lifetime, and what our expectations are of ourselves and others' expectations of us. So what we can get out of life most likely may not be as planned as what you expect it to be, right? So probably that's why that in English as well as in the Chinese, now the contemporary expression 人生苦旅 was depicting life, to cast life in this bitterness. Of course, that's not the only flavor in life. We also have an episode talking about all flavors, 酸甜苦辣. Like we do have bitter in there, but we also have a sour, we also have sweet, we even have a spiciness. And 酸甜苦辣 basically is 4 main dominant or prominent tastes of life that you can get out of. So here is just 2 corresponding to that bitterness. I'm using a artwork from somewhere, use nothing but paper and ink. So you can see the spread of the ink, the different shade of the ink, and how the ink and the water as a part of a natural process, but this is like through a trained artist strokes of the brushes to render the shape. And it was originally horizontal, and this you can see kind of like a person and some desolate landscape, right? And with kind of like a sun and a cloud. And then I mirror the image, pair it together, and it looks almost like a pair of hollow eyes stare back at you from this new formed image. And that probably is kind of depicting the sense of feeling the life's journey is limited number of years each of us are facing, and obstacles along the way, the sufferings. It's acknowledge that sense of life is bitter. And I guess in English we have life as a bitch, right? That phrase. Similar, but life as a bitch probably depicting more of this almost like a fighter mode, like you life treats me unfairly or snagging at me or whatever, it annoys me, something like that. But you can see this fighter mode in it. But versus this 人生苦旅, only the bitterness is almost like a matter of factly, and only talk about single out this one taste from life, and also depleting all the other colors or richness of life. And if a boiled down version of life is the bitter flavor. All right. Catching to the Concept of Thinking by One Word a Day with Sophie. See you another day.